What do you need to consider if you want to use a smart camera in a pharma or medical device application? At JLI, we see a lot of medical device companies trying to implement smart cameras for quality control on production lines. And a good portion of these run into trouble with complying with the regulations specific to the medical device industry. In this video, we will address how to handle these challenges. Smart cameras are great for visual quality control, and in many industries. They are an obvious choice for medium to low complexity vision tasks. We also see them make their way into the production lines in many medical device companies. But here, the cheap and easy solution sometimes ends up becoming problematic and expensive. Partly, this is because of strict regulatory requirements. In order to use a machine vision system in a validated environment, it must comply with the GAMP guideline. To validate a system, it must have a number of features that do not necessarily come with standard smart cameras available on the market today. Let's dive into some of these and how you can potentially tackle them. Audit trail. Does the smart camera offer an audit trail? And if so, is it readable? And is it protected from tampering? This is often not the case, but an audit trail is a basic requirement in the medical device industry. JLI can help by adding an audit trail in a readable format to the smart camera. Version control. Most smart cameras are built without considering version control, and smart camera configuration files are often hard to control as they mix setup and parameters. JLI can add configuration management to the smart camera to provide this functionality. We can also add tools that will help you baseline the system. Password strength. Does the system support the specific password rules in your organization? Can the user exit the application and gain control of the operating system? JLI can help with adding functionality that limits users' access to comply with the set standards. Logging of data. Storing relevant images and related data is a requirement that smart cameras do not always have. But JLI can help mitigate this by adding solutions that store important tracking information. At JLI, we can also make sure that the images and data are stored in a safe location on your network where they can be integrated as part of your batch documentation. Performance surveillance. Does the system provide diagnostics data for its own state? Like, for example, temperature monitoring. And will you be notified if important connections to, for example, network storage are lost? This is also a layer that JLI can add to the standard camera. Compatibility. You have to make sure that the smart camera is compatible with your network and supports virus scanning, whitelisting, etc. Sometimes we see designated sub-networks for the smart cameras being created to address this. But often this will not be a viable solution. IT departments are getting increasingly critical of having unprotected units in their network. Patching. Also, some smart cameras run on operating systems like Windows. You have to make sure that your smart camera supports patching of the operating system. If this is not the case, JLI has experience in maintaining smart cameras in pharma and medical device environments. We have yet to see a smart camera that is completely designed for compliance to medical device requirements. In some cases, we can simply add the missing functionality to the camera itself, and in other cases, we need to construct protection PCs and subnets to encapsulate and protect the smart cameras. There's quite a difference in complexity between these two approaches, and that is why you should always involve your IT department at an early stage of the specification phase. If you're not comfortable with IT jargon, you should involve your vision vendor in these talks. At JLI, we fully understand why it's intriguing to make use of smart cameras, and in many cases they are a valid option. As mentioned, there are ways to add the missing functionality and create a setup that could work, but sometimes this will require so much extra work and extra cost that the initial savings on using smart cameras vanishes. Then the only viable way forward is to use a custom-built solution that is initially designed for compliance. However, if you do want to make use of smart cameras, make sure you take the challenges into consideration and consult a partner with expertise in this to help you add a layer of needed functionality.